everyone, welcome to Thoughts to Treasures. My name's Connie and this is my craft room. I want to welcome you in. So glad that you all are here tonight. We are going to be working on this kit. This is our USA 1776, just in time for, the upcoming 4th of July. So this is just a small little sign. Great decor, little home decor piece. It is a little hanger. We're going to put a little piece of wire on there. With all of my kits, first of all, I do want to say welcome into everybody. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. Remember to sprinkle, spread the love, share us, follow, all that good stuff. It helps our pages grow. And by pages, I mean mine. And so all the support is great. Gratefully is great. Oh, whatever. I give up. I'm done talking for the night. It's been a long day. But I do want to say thank you for being here. That's the most important part. We're going to be working on this kit tonight. I just had this kit in our live sale, and I wanted to do it up. So, all of my kits are not the same thickness. I don't know why I do it. I just think it gives it more... Sometimes it can get too thick if you keep doing it the same thickness. So, I did the top pieces in the 1/8 inch, and the little eagle, and the star, and the letters, the numbers and the letters. Whew, it's been a long day. However, the backer piece is done in 1/4 inch, and all with my 1/4 inch wood. It does have a masking on it, and you can see this does have to be removed. So you can do it with your fingers. I have no nails, so I don't ever use my fingers. I am going to use this little picker weeding tool. And you're just going to pick it off. I'm just going to get them all started and then rip them off together. If you are new to me, I do want to say welcome into everybody. This was a kit in our live sale that just took place yesterday, Sunday, June 1st. If you have any interest in it, you can more than welcome to message me or comment on whichever video you're watching, if it's Facebook, YouTube, what have it. But the masking just gives the wood some protection against the laser. That's all it's for. So I'm going to start by, we're just going to make this really quick, nothing spectacular. I mean, anything spectacular, but we're just going to do the back. I like to finish my back up. I have to get some more. Did I get some more black? I did. I have to put that on the shopping list, but I think I already have some. We're just going to do the back black, and I am going to do the front of the frame black also, because we're going to use the red, white, and blue for the rest of it. With my kits, I do include a picture. That does not mean it's an inspiration picture. That does not mean that is how you have to paint it. Please be sure that, everybody has their own creativity, and you can do it however you want. I do go live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 8:30 on Facebook. We play Crafto and have fun, chit chat and talk, and then I do my videos after that, and then upload them the following day. So in case you're all wondering, yes, there are videos on my page. They can also be found on my website, thoughtstotreasures.com. If you are watching, I'm not sure which, this video will be in different platforms. You can follow on Facebook, you can subscribe on YouTube, you can follow on TikTok, all of that good stuff. Just know that I'm always on all of them as Thoughts to Treasures. So I'm just going to get this dried real quick, because we're going to flip it over. I'm going to do the frame part black also. I personally like signs. That is my go-to thing, just because you can just, if they're flat, you can store them easier. They can be put up and taken down so much quicker than a lot of different decorations. So they're my go-to. I do like them. So we are going to do the front of the frame here, not the front of the frame itself here. In the black too. I'm just going to go around. Now, when I get to the other part, I am going to pounce, and I'll show you why. I'm going to clean this up before I start anything, but but I will show you why, and I'm just going to do everything in the white first, because of course the stripes are the stripes on the backer piece are going to be red and white, but there is a reason, and I'm going to dirty it up a little. I think I'm going to dirty it. I think I'm going to make it a little rustic. Let's get this. Let me get this dry real quick. Doesn't have to be fully dried because we are going to do the other pieces, but I just want to get most of it dried, so that I'm not putting wet paint someplace. Put that over there. I'm going to wipe this up real quick, and I'm going to clean this off real quick. Lots of gunk on there, preventing the paint coming out. Put that down there. Put that under there. Let me get this paint. This is a silicone mat. If you guys are interested, it's awesome. I do have it linked in my Amazon store. If you guys are not familiar how Amazon stores work, let me just give you a little bit of information real quick. Yes, I have an Amazon store. Yes, you can use the link. You do not have to purchase what is in my store, but if you use my link, you go outside of my shop, my store, then purchase anything. I do get a little commission off of that. Is it major bucks? No, it's not. However, every little penny does help us in getting with the supplies and stuff that we need. So, if you ever need, you can go to my website, thoughtsofTreasures.com. There's a link tree. You can click on the link tree and you can just shop from there. Let me... This is the part that's going to take forever. So, on here I said there's a reason why I'm going to do all of this white. The reason is, and pounce it, is because this is a score mark, and I want the score marks to be there. We may be covering them up, but I do not want the paint to seep into these score marks, just in case. So we're going to do red, white, red, you know, according to how the stripes are. But I'm going to pounce, and pouncing allows you to make sure that the paint doesn't go in there. You do not want to use a lot. It's kind of like stenciling. Same concept. You put a bunch of paint on, offload, and then you can, you know, keep pouncing. Trust me, your arm's going to hurt. Especially for a big area like this. Now, I don't have to do the red stripes, but I'm going to anyway, just to make it easier. So I'm just going to pounce, pounce, pounce. And yes, it's going to take a bit, so again, that's the great part of videos. You can fast forward a little bit. I'll try not to talk too much through this part. No important information. Trying to think if I maybe I won't do, maybe I'll just do the stripes and not have to worry about this part. Let's see if that'll work, because I'm not going to waste my time doing everything. So this is red, white, red, white, red, white, red, white, red. Okay, yeah, let's just try that and see what happens, because I was just going to do the whole thing, but you know what, my arm's going to hurt. The red will cover it up. I just didn't want to be so particular and precise, but if I just do a little bit, just paint. Just have fun with it. This is going to take forever. Again, fast forward, come back in about 20 minutes. No, I'm just not lying. So with this, you definitely want to make sure, just like stenciling, you don't want to put too much, because if you put too much paint on your little dabber, it's going to go right on in. Just like if you put too much on your stencil brush, it's going to go right underneath of your stencil. And I might have to go back and do another coat. So then this one's white. The second coat always is easier, but the first one, let me mark these. Red, white, and white. Okay. That way I don't have to think about it. I mean, not that I'm going to paint over them anyway, but I'm just using a makeup sponge. There are other dibber dabbers out there. Oh boy. Yep, my arm's going to be sore after this. If you are new to watching me, I do want to say again, welcome in. Just to let you know how I run my page, I do these pre-recorded videos. I do no editing on them because I want you to see the exact full length of everything. If you need to go back and watch something, it's there. It's not edited out. I do go live on my page, but I do not craft there anymore. Live, we just have fun, hang out, chit chat, talk. We play games, and then I do these pre-records. I like that because I upload them to different platforms, and it works out better. Alright, one more stripe, and then I gotta go back and do layer number 2. I may do, when I do the red, I may, now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, you know what, we may not even worry about, oh, I'm talking to myself now. And I am going to give it the rustic look, so I'm not going to make sure that every single little piece is done, but I am going to go back so you can still see the score marks. But I'm going to go back and give this a second coat. But I'm going to keep it rustic-y, so I'm not going to go too full coverage. And yes, I use all of the correct terminology. When I do the red, I'm going to use a brush. This is going to be the longest part of it, but while I have the white out, I am going to paint our eagle, because I am going to do that white too. Probably should have dried it a tiny bit. But we're going to see how this goes. last one. And I think I'm going to leave it like that. I think that looks good. I think we're going to leave it just like that. Let me get this. Oh, I want to do my eagles first. My eagle. We're just going to do him all white. But again, he has score marks. I want to make sure that we keep those score marks so that we can see the detail. So again, I'm going to do the same thing with this little pouncer. I'm going to probably use some antique wax with him too, so. Get over here. I'd rather paint with a paintbrush. Be honest with y'all, this is not my thing, but it's the best way to do it. You definitely want to see all of these lines, and you do not want to have paint. If you get paint in them, you can use your little picker tool and get the paint out. But to me, that is just... And I'm going to sound funny when I say more time consuming. Let's get his tail first, and then we can go in with the rest of the body. Now, if you want to do him all different colors, you know, do his feet, really paint him up, that's totally up to you. I'm just going to keep it basic white. If you want a good arm workout, this is definitely what you want to do. Maybe switch and halfway through. Now, not for the sake of my arm, but I do think I'm going to leave it streaky like this, because I think it actually looks nice and old. I can get a little bit here and there. But yes, for the sake of my arm and finishing this project, kind of looks very, you pretty much can't tell, huh? I think I'm going to leave it just like that. Now let's finish the rest of the project. Alright, I'm going to put that over there. I am, yo, please don't hate. I'm going to use this color red. That says engine red. I'm not sure if I'm going to go with real red. I'll put this over here to dry real quick. There's not a whole lot of pieces to this, so that's the good part of it. And I don't ever like to rush things. However, you know, doing a video, I do want to be on here for 3 hours with trying to do this. So I am going to go back and just go in here with this red. And if I'm not going to be too worried about getting in the lines, because I am going to go back with some antique wax. So if we oopsie here or oopsie there, it's okay. And I kind of want it a little rusticy anyway. So let me know, does anybody decorate for the 4th of July? Or do you decorate year-round? Because patriotic things, yes, we do decorate a lot for 4th of July. However, patriotic things can be year-round. They do not have to be just for the 4th of July or Memorial Day or, you know. It's just going to start with that. Again, I know it's going to take a little bit, so I apologize, but you could tape this off. That might be an idea to do. But you know what? I'm going to do the fine line first part. I mean, if you don't have a steady hand and you get a little oopsie, that's fine. But if you're totally unsteady, you can always use some painter's tape. And again, like I said, there's not too many pieces to this, so let's be thankful for that, because this is a long process here. I don't have any good painter's tape down here, otherwise I would. I honestly find painting like this so relaxing, so much fun. I know it's probably not something people want to watch, but to me it's very relaxing. And yes, I could use a bigger brush in here, but you know, these stripes are really not that thick. I'll look in a second, see, maybe the painter's tape might work better. So let's try it that way the next one and see what happens. Show you both ways. Let me see if I can find some good painter's tape. If I don't have any good painter's tape, I'm not going to do it that way. And by good, I don't mean I have Dollar Tree stuff, but that doesn't work very well. So hold on and we'll give it another try. Just to give you other options. So let me put that in there for a second. Let that dry for a second. Hold on. Ouch. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Let's try this. Alright, let me get this dried real good. I'm going to start at the bottom part. So now I'm going to try the painter's tape and see how that works. I'm just going to put it right here. And let's use one of these brushes and see how it works. Let's see if this works. Hope and hope and hope it doesn't bleed. It doesn't look as dark. Trying to put my brush someplace. I just might have to do another plate. Hold on. Okay. I think that brush was a little wet. I don't know. I don't like that. Yeah, that's better. And I did get it on the side, so we're going to get that off. Now, I'm messy, so we're just going to use a different piece of tape. I'm going to let that piece dry. I'm going to work on this stripe. So this one I need 2 pieces. Again, we're just going to line it up. I know, don't be yelling. I'm probably wasting too much tape, and that's okay. Dry this just a second. And then once I pull this off, I am going to completely get it good dry. Put that down. Don't you fall. To do this last stripe. Got a little touch up there. It's okay, we'll go back with the white. Alright, let me give this a good dry, and then we'll do the last one. It's a lot quicker. More waste of product, but a lot quicker. So if you don't have painter's tape, it can be done. Painter's tape just makes it a little quicker. Go in with two more pieces of painter tape to get this last stripe done, and then we'll do the blue, and then we can put it together. I really don't like doing it because you got to get straight. Alright, let's get our last stripe done. And I'll let that dry, and then we'll come back in with some antique wax and rough it up. That's done. Let's pull these off. And I'm going to put this to the side just for a second. I'm going to use, where's the blue? Nautical Blue is what I'm going to use by Home Decor. And I'm just going to use a piece of tape to hold. This is the Dollar Tree painter's tape. It's not, you don't want to use this for painter's tape. I mostly just use it for holding things down. Our 1776 in our USA. Yeah, let's just use a brush. And I'm going to use, I think this is a very pretty blue. Like I said, this is a very simple sign. What you do to it is just being creative. I'm keeping it fairly simple. I do want to do a little rusticy technique with it, but other than that, I'm not going to do a whole lot with it. And like I said, this was a kit that was in our live sale this past Sunday. If you are interested in it, you are more than welcome to message me through Facebook. Is the best way. If you're on any other platform, it's harder to get a hold of. You can always go to my website and message me through there. I'm making these dry. Over here. Now I'm going to get some antique wax. Let me see. Perfect. So now I'm going to come back in. I am going to give this a good dry. Make sure this is completely dry. I had some boo-boos here. I'm not worried about that, but I said we're going to rust it up anyway. Take this and it's baby wipe. So what I put on, I'm going to take some off. All I'm using is the Waverly Antique Wax. And I'm just going to dip my brush in. We'll just use what's on the lid. And wherever there's a line, I'm just going to put some on. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wipe some off. Same thing, just gonna go wipe right off. So you're gonna just end up with a nice little rusticy look. And you can always go put more on if you want it to be darker. Some through the red. I love it. Perfect. Perfect, 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 perfect. All right, so we're done with that. Let me close this because this is very, very thin and I will spill it. Now I'm going to give this a quick dry. Going to get the glue. We're going to use some of these little guys to hold it down for this part. Again, don't worry too much if it spills out the side. It will dry clear. You do not want clumps, but you know. Ooh, that was a little too much. And we'll wipe some of it off. This bottle, I usually don't open it like this. I am using the wood glue from the Dollar Tree. I absolutely love this wood glue. I think it works well. There are many other options out there that you can use if you don't like the wood glue. You can get the wood glue from Lowe's and all that. It's just, I don't have a problem with this one. I'm gonna put this on here. Like I said, I'm not too worried about what squeezes out, because we can wipe some of that off. Sometimes this crafters need about 5 other hands. And I'll show you how to fix these little things up too at the end. Now I'm just gonna put these on for a few and let them sit up. Sit up. But I am going to go in, like I said, you don't want clumps. I do have a little bit too much glue going around the edge here, and that's fine. Just a little paintbrush. If you don't get it all, it's not a big deal because it will dry clear. I just like to get the big clumps. This clip up here. And now you'll see around the edge, that's from the white paint. We're going to fix that up, and I'll show you at the end how to do that. Alright, so we can get our other letters on while this is just fine to work with. We're going to put our little eagle on here, and I think he looks just perfect the way he is. I'm not going to put any distress on him because he's already distressed enough. So now when I put the frame on, I make sure I actually have more than I need with the glue, because, and I'll drop it, because sometimes you don't get enough glue on like one corner or wherever, it starts to pull up. So you want to make sure you get enough glue on that part. However, with these pieces that are laying flat, you don't have to have too much glue. I'm just trying to get him centered where I want him. Press down. And then we're going to put our 1776. I'm going to lay it out where I want to put it. Again, you don't need a whole lot of glue. Just a tiny bit. And we're going to do our 6. Now some of the kits you get, the letters will be completely separate. Some of the letters and numbers will be together, connected. However, whichever how you want to look at it, you want to be careful with them because they are fragile and they will break. Perfect. So like the USA is all one piece. And again, whatever comes out of this for the glue, don't stress over it. Like I said, it will dry clear. So I do have some glue marks there. It's fine. Oh, and then we're going to put our little star on here. I'm going to give this little guy a tiny little black eye. A black eye. Not a black eye, a black eye. Let's see, where's my little... Let's just use this. Still have some black here. When you do this, I always suggest using fresh paint, but we're gonna put a little dot right there. Because when it sits around, it kind of gets a little... Alright, that'll work. That will work. Alright, and now I'm going to show you very easily, and you can do this with a marker, you can do this with paint. I'm just going to use an acrylic marker. So when you go around the edges, you're going to see where the paint was. We're just going to go around it. You can do this with paint and a paintbrush. Get all the sides. And then all gone. So the last thing I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to put a little wire hanger on this. This is just going to be a little wire hanger, nothing major, nothing spectacular, just a little hanger so that we can hang it up. Through. We're going to twist. I don't like putting wire hanger on. I don't have the knack of it. And this is very pliable. You know, you can use a pair of scissors to cut this. It's not very super thick. Like I said, I just want a little looped hanger on here. And there we have it. Just a cute little sign for the 4th of July or any patriotic holiday, actually. It doesn't have to be just for the 4th. We all decorate for our country year round. So I do want to say thank you for hanging out with me. And if this is something that you are interested in, just message me and let me know. But you all have an amazing rest of your night. Have an amazing rest of your day, whichever it is when you're watching this. And thank you for joining me in my craft room, and I will see you next time. Till then, remember, thoughts become things and things become treasures. Bye, everybody.